Why? Because remember, we're going based off of a very specific law called FCRA 605B, which requires consumer reporting agencies to remove any fraudulent items off of a consumer file within and no later than 4 business days after receipt by such of agency of, right? And typically speaking, when you're submitting these disputes, a common thing I hear from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and again, this is all a stall tactic because we go based off of facts, guys, right? Because the law says here that if I submit any dispute related to FCRA 605B and I provide all proper documentation, all information required for the consumer reporting agencies to be able to investigate and perform this, and a request has been made, then they are to comply with this within that 4-day time frame. And if they don't, that's when you enforce it. Because the most common response you're going to get is the item has been verified, or I hear that, they encourage you to contact the creditor, right? Well, why do you need to contact the creditor when they're the consumer reporting agency that is furnishing information from the creditor? Weren't they already contacting the creditor? Why do I need to continue contacting the creditor? It's their job. It's their job to investigate, right? Because if they need us to contact the creditor, then what's their purpose? Why do they exist? Right? You're asking me to do your job. That's your job. It's not my job to contact the creditor. I've given you all the information. I submitted a dispute. You're reporting it, right? Because when I pull my Equifax report, my TransUnion report, last I checked, that's the company I'm following up with, right? I'm not following up with Capital One report, right? This isn't a Amex report. This is an Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax report. So when we're following up with these creditors, they're going to tell you things like follow up with the creditor, be sure to contact them. Yeah, of course, during the situation, they're going to be contacted, they're going to be notified. But the actual dispute has been sent through the CRAs because the CRAs are just as responsible as the creditors for following the FCRA laws. There is no exception, right? The laws apply to all of them. It applies to data furnishers, right? Furnishers of information, and it applies to consumer reporting agencies. So it's their job to make sure that they actually follow this within that 4-day time frame.